Man, this video is gonna be like a little bit more funnier than I thought. Hi everyone, my name is Rosz and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am showing my face and the wind is going a little bit crazy, so I am sorry if my mic picked this up, but yeah, we're gonna try our best. So in today's video, I want to talk about something that I've been asked a lot from my Twitch chat and also from some friends who were interested into making their first comic book. And the question was, where do I start? This question can be answered in a lot of different ways, depending on your level and skills in drawing and storytelling. Personally, I went to a college and that college taught me the ways of comics art, but after 3 years, I am still not sure if I'm the best one to answer this question. But you know what? Every tips and advice tutorial always depends on the person's perspective and experience. So, I want to give you 5 tips on how to finally start your comic, depending on whatever is your skill and your level of storytelling or drawing or what's not. I also want to point out that I asked 2 other cartoonists and comic creators about what kind of advice they would give to someone who wants to start their first comic, just to have like other points of view depending on what is your level of skills. And I hope that I can guide you to this journey, because yes, making a comic is a journey in itself. Tip number 1, start small. Definitely, I feel like comics are often underestimated because everyone has this stigma that it's only for kids, or because it's a book with a lot of pictures and it equals that it doesn't take a lot of time to read, so that means it doesn't equals a lot of time to do as well. No, not at all. While I was working on my undergraduate project, which was making a self-published comic, I thought that the time that I had to complete everything that I needed was so little, and maybe my project was really too ambitious for the time that I had. So yeah, I was able to cut from my initial 75 pages to 32 pages. I also want to point out that we also had a full semester to get ready, so around 4 months or so, plus the Christmas vacation, and I think I would at least take another 2 or 3 months, not gonna lie. Taking in consideration that I also had 3 other classes to attend at the same time, and unless you work full-time on your comic, maybe 4 months is okay for you. And when I say full-time, it means no other job, no break, no sleep, working from 9 until your hand hurts, and you need to wear one of those things, because when you work a lot, maybe you can get a tendinitis, and yeah. But disclaimer, take care of your hands, right? Do not do what I did, alright? So yes, start small, do not be too ambitious, and like I said, I was at my last year of college after doing some comics now and there during my college time, and I was able to do a 32 pages graphic novel. So yeah, maybe start with a one-shot of a few pages, only a chapter or 2, or maybe only a few strips, depending on, like I said, the level that you are on this comic, cartoonist chart, whatever. Tip number 2, be patient and be prepared. This one kind of reflects what I just said for my number 1 tip, but I want to take the time that every comic that you read took quite some time to get ready. And I'm not talking about some sketches now and there, before you do your inking or your coloring. If you want to make a graphic novel, you need to think about everything. Everything. Like, really everything. For example, just just taking your characters. Who is your character? What is their name? How old are they? What is their gender? Where do they live? What is their favorite color? Are they more of a cat or a dog person? Do they play Animal Crossing or Doom on March 20th, 2020? You know, all the important questions. You need to know who is your character, what is going to happen to them. You need to be prepared in that sense. What do they like to wear? What is their favorite outfit? When they go to bed, do they sleep naked? You know? Everything from their personality to what they wear to how they look like and how they're gonna act. It might not be significant, but knowing your characters, the direction you are going for is going to help you a lot with consistency and the credibility of your story. Also, the script. Do I really need to tell you how much a script is important? How writing your dialogues is important? And even if your characters doesn't speak, you are telling a story anyway. You need a script of some kind to keep track of your story. If you go like, I guess it doesn't work the same way if you are making, for example, a webcomic about your daily life or whatever, but you need some kind of direction. And if this direction is not that clear, people are going to be confused and your readers can't keep up with you. Anyway, those steps can take days, weeks, and months, depending on the length of your story and what type of story you are telling. And yes, you heard right, month. And sometimes years. You need to be patient with yourself. You're not going to release a 30-volume series in 6 months. Like, there's no way that the guy who made Naruto made everything within a year, right? It's not working this way. It takes a lot of time to prepare, and it's normal. And it's normal that you're gonna be discouraged and you're not gonna feel motivated sometimes. But the most important thing is that you work to your own rhythm and that you never give up. Tip number 3, self-discipline. Oh yes, self-discipline is definitely the thing that I work on the most while I was working on my first comic. And I still do. Because you know, if you don't take the time to work on it, how are you gonna make it happen? And you know, I work from home only from this January of this year, and I can tell you something. There's a lot of distraction in your house. More than you think. And I know what I'm talking about, you know? Sorry, I just need to water my flowers. Can you hang a second? I just realized that I forgot to do it, so I really need to do it, you know? This is like secondary, but I need my purple windflowers in my town, island. I'm still not used to say island instead of town. But yeah. Either way, the best way I found to stay disciplined is to find an objective and to fix it for the day. And when I'm working on my comic especially, I like to keep a grid like on Excel something. Sometimes I would like do it like hand drawn as well, but I like to keep a grid of my production and to see like how many steps or how many pages I need to sketch, for example. And for example, I would say, okay, so today I will be inking page 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and tomorrow I'm only gonna focus on page 6 because it's a full panel page. I really need to work on this. It's gonna take a lot of time, and tomorrow I'm gonna take the full day to work on it, for example. There's a lot of different tips and tricks you can use to help you to keep you focused and achieve your goal of the day or your goal for your comic that you're working on. But again, this is going to be a long journey, and it's not a matter of like a simple task that you can check out of your to-do list that has to be done. In my opinion, taking baby steps is the right way to go, whatever time it would take. If it's only like a strip, only a pages, 2 pages, 32 pages, whatever, and you can apply this to like, even if you're not working on a comic and you are still watching this video, by the way, thank you so much. Do a little per day and do not overwork yourself. Overwork and burnout kills creativity and motivation. Take some time for yourself, because you know, someone is waiting for you to water their flowers and to access fossil. You know, this thing can actually help you sometimes too. Not overwork yourself. I am not addicted. Maybe. Tip number 4. Keep you motivated with something new. When I first put down my blue pen on a piece of paper to sketch down my first pages of my first comic, it was a really awesome feeling. I was doing something new, something out of my boundaries, but after a few weeks, the honeymoon phase was over and it was hard to keep going. And you know what? It's kind of the same way for the project I'm working on as well. Definitely having new ideas or trying to challenge myself helps to keep my brain motivated and to work on my project. Comics are really tedious because sometimes you need to pass 3 or even 4 times again on your page to make it done. For example, one of the phases that I am thinking of is mostly the line art. After you're done your sketches, you need to make your work shine. You know, you need to take the pen or whatever tool you are using to make the line art. But it's not done there. If you want to make your project in color, you need to take this page again and put down the color. And after reading the same page over and over again, sometimes it gets boring. And I don't think this page is like attractive anymore. And if it's boring, it will certainly show in your comic and your readers are going to notice it. So don't be afraid to change something while you are working on your project. It can be from changing the layout of your panels, edit your script a little bit, add a couple pages to one scene to make it more shine. And anyway, there's a lot of ways. To be brief, make it exciting for you and people will find it exciting too. Mostly if it's like not your first comic, it's not your first rodeo, if you've done something before, you just don't want to get bored and doing like the same thing over and over again to dry out yourself. Try to take a challenge, for example. The comic I'm working on don't really has any kind of panel, and I'm talking about something really personal towards my life, and my protagonist is me. It's not a character or something like that. I am talking about something that I struggle with, for example. And it's a challenge in itself because I've never done something like this. So do not be afraid to try something new overall. And finally, tip number 5, make it personal. It's no secret that I love comic. Well, I'm moving, there's not really like comic in my bookshelf anymore, but I swear there's the whole, I have like full boxes full of comics. I swear I love comic. I read a ton of them, and I read even more when I was in college, and even today. And some of them were good, and some of them were really not good. And when I find something that is really not that good, I always ask myself why it's not good. And most of the time it is not related to my personal taste. For example, I don't really like, stories about superheroes or starships. it's not my cup of tea, but it doesn't mean that I won't read a comic about a superhero or a starship if the story is good. And most of the time, when I don't think this comic that is in my hand and I don't think it's good, it's because there's no connection to me at all. The mic is totally picking the wind, and I don't like it. We humans are creatures that can feel emotion, feelings, we like to be excited, and whatever the comic that I read, I look for the special connection that will make me feel the protagonist, that I relate to them, I understand them, I root for them, I hope that they could win. And unfortunately, I think that a lot of people who tries to make their first comic totally miss the point of that. Their characters don't have personalities. They don't have consistency. They don't have any feelings. They don't feel empathy or any kind of development even. They are boring. Like, boring. And they are not human. When your character is like this, they are not human. They are just a drawing on a piece of paper with a speech bubble on top. I'm sorry. And every character that I created are a little piece of me. They are part of me. And that's how I was able to make people connect to my story and be intrigued. For those who doesn't know, my story is about intimidation of a girl who wears Lolita fashion. And even though some people didn't get Lolita fashion at all, they totally know what it feels like to be bullied, rejected, and I put this part of me in my characters, and that made people be intrigued by my story because that is something that they can relate on. That is something that they feel empathy for them. They understand them, So yes, put a lot of time into your preparation of your comic, but please take some time to do some character development. Try to design them to perfection and do a really interesting background story that you like, whatever, but work on them. If your character is not intriguing, if I don't connect with them, I can predict everything that is going to happen and I won't buy it. I won't read it. Sorry, not sorry. And also, you need to talk about something that you like, something that you know. For example, I totally don't see myself making a story about a superhero. Like I said, it's not my typical cup of tea. But making a story about a magical girl or even someone who is wearing Lolita fashion, heck to the yes. I'm gonna talk about it. My story is going to be interesting for people who likes this kind of subject because I am passionate about this. And it's gonna intrigue also people who may or may not be totally experienced with this type of thing, can like it because I am passionate about this and I really want to do it, If my story is about something that I know nothing of, I better do a ton of research beforehand. For example, if I want to make a story about, witches, and I don't know nothing about witches, or magical girls, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch, my story is not gonna be credible for the people who really likes this stuff. I better prove them that what I read, what I did my research on, is not only based on my personal opinion. They can relate to it. And if I'm working on something that bores me, that for example, I only do it because it's trending, or I only do it because everyone loves it. For example, superheroes, Marvel, etc. Even the people who are interested in that kind of stuff are not gonna read it because it's boring. If I find it boring, they're gonna find it boring. You know, it's kind of like if you're excited, they're gonna be excited. If it's boring for you, they're gonna be bored by it. So yeah, making a story about something that you like, that passions you, and don't forget that we need to feel this personal connection to your protagonists and even your bad guys. And voila, this is my 5 tips and advice for you to start your own comic, or if you even consider starting a comic. I hope that I didn't come out like really too discouraging for you or anything, because like I said, comics are really underrated. A lot of people think that, again, it's only pictures in a book, and because we read it fast, there's no really work, because we do all the job of putting like every picture in your imagination. But think about it. Comics is a combination of literature, visual art, and even movies at some point. And this is why comics are officially the 9th form of art after all. I hope that this video helped you in some way to work hard, and that maybe it motivates you to start making your own story into reality. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, consider giving it a like or even subscribe. Do you like this kind of 5-tip video? Would you like to see more of it? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you are a cartoonist or a comic creator, what kind of advice would you give to someone who would like to start their own comic? On that note, get a pen and start create. This is a long journey that you're going to, but there's something that I'm sure of. You can do this. You are going to love this, and you are going to be so proud of yourself and of your story. And I don't think I see myself doing nothing else than comics. Honestly, I love this. See you next time!